Hello, my name is Andre Akuntukwade, and today I will be presenting you with my oral report on environmental health. One of my favorite subjects that really captured me when dealing with environmental health are alternative fuels. Now, since the U.S. Department of Energy (DOE) is encouraging researchers and automobile manufacturers to produce vehicles that can run on alternative fuels, which this essentially means that they're going to be working on vehicles that can ultimately lessen the amount of gasoline that we produce. Which sounds amazing because if we lessen our amount of gasoline production, we can also help with reducing the amount of pollution that is in the airs. Just think of all the benefits that can have on the men, women, and children of the modern era. There would be less pollution in the air, meaning our ozone layer would be able to be healed up. Our lungs will be less polluted with airs such as cigarette smoke and such as airs that are attributed to cigarette smoke. And another interesting thing that I found out about this is it says ethanol, which is a form of alcohol, can be used as a renewable resource. I honestly never knew that an alcohol could be used as a renewable resource. And it says it's largely domestic transport biofuel produced from fermenting plant sugars such as corn and sugarcane. Which, oh, okay. So since it's created by fermenting sugarcane corn, I can see why it can be a biofuel and a renewable energy source because they're plants. We can keep regrowing them as long as we have fertile ground. And since this ethanol reduces the amount of imported oil required to produce gasoline, that can still also help us reduce the amount of gas we produce within the air. It also says that ethanol uses ethanol reduces overall greenhouse gases from automobiles, which was once I stated before, and it supports the U.S. agricultural industry. So it doesn't go against the U.S. agricultural industry; it actually supports it, which is always a plus. Another thing that really captured my interest were hybrid and electric vehicles. Now, hybrid electric vehicles use two or more distinct power sources to propel the vehicle, such as onboard energy storage system and a traditional internal combustion engine and an electric motor. Hybrid vehicles typically have greater fuel economy than conventional cars do. This basically means that they're able to hold on fuel and they're a lot more affordable and they cause less harm to the environment. Another thing about hybrid cars are they also tend to run with less noise and conventional than the conventional vehicles. Hybrids are gaining popularity with consumers and are being used more commonly in both corporate and government vehicle fleets. This honestly does sound amazing because if we do use these within vehicle fleets, just think of all the tactical advantages to having quieter vehicles and having vehicles that do not produce those types of emissions that can give up to the enemy that there's a car nearby and we smell gas. A second generation of all electric vehicles, EVs, have recently been introduced to consumer markets, taking advantage of better battery storage power, which essentially means that these not only would these cars be less of a harm to the environment, they are also more efficient and more popular than normal cars. It also has an advantage called quick charging stations and changing consumer perceptions on the convenience of EVs. Now, once I actually delved deeper into the subject of these cars, I found out that they are actually pretty interesting. The fact that we have quick charging stations that allow us to just charge up a car and spend less money on the gas sounds incredible. You can also have battery packs that can allow your car to be ran off of essential electric energy. So you won't have to waste time and go to the gas station to spend money and refuel your car. No, you can just spend a little bit on some electricity, keep it at home, and then plug and play in your car. It's just like a video game. Now, on my the last thing that I found interesting were renewable energy sources. Now, renewable energy sources are sources that are naturally replenished and essentially inexhaustible, which means that these are sources that are found throughout our world that we can keep renewing and renewing over and over again until our world basically gives out. Well, our world shouldn't gives out because we have a whole planet. And so, it says such as wind and sunlight. One way wind contributes to renewable resources is we have, the windmills. They produce wind power, so they turn a mobile turbine and they produce kinetic energy and sunlight. That that produces energy as well through the sun panels, and we convert those into electric energy. And it says our best sources of renewable energy are wind power, solar power, geothermal power. Uh, I already went over wind and solar power, but geothermal power is basically heat that is harnessed within the earth that we can extract from, such as natural gases that we can get from deep within the earth to produce. Uh, so we can produce them and convert them to electricity, which is seems like we also have plant material that can also help with. No, that is also a renewable resource, including trees and biofuels, which are fuels that are based on natural materials such as vegetable oils and alcohol. Together with technology that improves energy efficiency, renewable energy sources contribute to sustainability and the captivity of natural or human systems to ensure and maintain well-being over time. This basically means that if we keep using these renewable sources, we will enlighten our being, and we can also take in better fumes instead of this more of man-made artificial elements such as coal, which coal isn't man-made, but it's someone mixed with different elements, and it's not good to put those types of fumes into your body, which is what this is supposed to mean. And it says a common definition of sustainable development is development that meets society present needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. Now, this last sentence says a lot because it means that these energy sources will be beneficial to our future generation. And if these are beneficial to our future generations, just think of all the opportunities that we can make for them, and think of all the things that they'll be able to create because of the way we've paid for them to inhabit these amazing anemones. My name is Andre Kinkwade. I would like to close out my oral report. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to express my knowledge and feelings about the subject. Thank you. Have a great day, Professor.